So, Jeff Bezos went to space. Was it suborbital space or some shit? The other day. I'm sure he'll end up in full space eventually. But obviously left Twitter, us. And I've been told people with corns in their profile names are starting to become rampant along the Twitterverse and are I am getting blamed, and it's true. So that's great. So please put corns in your Twitter profiles, just like your boy, okay? Just like this. You can put them on any end. You can just put corns somewhere in your shit. People fucking hate it. It's great. I love it. I love it so much. It's a little virility to our Twitter discourse stuff, so it's pretty fun. But we are spreading the corn cult, absolutely. You could also, I think it would be fun if I'm trying to think, maybe we could do like a thing where there'd be clips of me saying something that's basically, arguments you hear all the time, and people with corns can just post a clip of me saying that thing, and just really quick, like a 3-second little thing, like I don't know, a libertarian, just be like, oh, the roads. I don't know. Anyway, Short Fat Otaku got really mad at me. Yeah, or you rather. Yeah, he's suck. He's just suck. They can't shuck all of us. You're damn right. Anyway, so the discourse on the Twitter, of course, validly so, was that Jeff Bezos went to space while people are fucking homeless here, which is true. Not a good thing. And now there's some cool stuff about space in the rocket ships, and you saw it. You saw his Jeff Bezos, his dick thing. Jeff Bezos rocket. Like if you look at it, I'll show you. If you look at it, it looks like a pee-pee. It looks like a wiener. That's a ding ding. There's a ding ding. Anyway, so Jeff Bezos flew away in his little ding dong, which is, I mean, rockets are phallic anyway, but you didn't have to put a fucking dickhead on it. Whatever. So he did, and very impressive technology. Don't get me wrong. The booster came down and landed itself, and then they came down in a little parachute, and then the puff of air slowed them down to 1 mile an hour, and then they landed, and everyone was safe, and it was fine. That's fine. I have no problem with the technology. I have no problem with how maybe someday it will be applied to sciences, but you know what it is applied right now? They're just going to try to fucking mine asteroids, bro. They're just going to try to make space capitalism. I'm not for it. I'm not a fan of it. Ben Shapiro, on the other hand, is very for it. And he says that the left, or I guess he's going to crush us. Shapiro crushes leftist whining about billionaires going to space. Also, Richard Branson of Virgin did this as well. I'm assuming they're going to shoot Bill Gates into space at some point. I don't know. Maybe the corpse of the Apple guy too. You know the one.
Historically, it is private industry that has made life better, not really government. That's the stuff we should be focusing on. We should want more of this, not less of this.
Come on, Jeffrey.
Yeah, Time Apple.
You can do it. Pave the way. Put your back into it. Tell us why. Show us how.
Wait. This song was making fun of Jeff Bezos. Wasn't it making fun of Jeff Bezos? Am I nuts? This was the TikTok guy. What the okay, so they don't know. Oh no, this was from Bo. What's that other guy? The other guy that does the Australian guy that does those videos, he's got the mustache. He did a Jeff Bezos one too, but you're right, this is Bo. So I can't even play this. RPG Unit, thanks for the follow. So I'm just gonna pass their stupid thing.
Something very cool happened to Jeff Bezos, who of course is the owner of Amazon.
He stepped down, right? Does he still technically do it?
Founder of Amazon. He went up into space. It's a very, very cool thing.
I guess.
Right? This is
the only person I'm happy for is I forgot her name already. The older lady that got to finally go up into space. They got to feel 0G basically. But he's not the. He still owns it, just not the CEO. Wow.
A unique moment in human history when we have moved beyond.
We don't know her name. Yeah, I can't remember it all of a sudden. Funk, I think. Am I stupid? Why can't I remember her name? I literally knew it before I wanted to say it. That happens to me a lot. That's my recall shit though. I'm terrible at name recall. Someone will know. Someone will know. In chat. They will absolutely know.
Simple governments taking human beings to space. We now have 2 separate billionaires in the past 2 weeks who have gone.
Wally Funk. Thank you. It was Funk. Wally Funk. I just couldn't remember her name for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah.
On into either very, very low space or into slightly higher space. And Elon Musk is planning to go into full orbit. And the idea here is to eventually privatize space travel, which would be super duper cool. I mean, it's a really neat thing. Here's a little bit of the video of Blue Origin. This is the Jeff Bezos rocket firing him and a couple of friends into space.
I watched every second of this. Just in case, you know, just in case. Because you never know. So I watched it. Just in case.
The Dr. Evil style phallic rocket flying directly up into space. It would have been good aesthetically if they had, made some changes. But there it is. It's flying into space. And that is pretty cool. I mean, that is a human being who has, a lot of money at stake as well as his life going into space as a civilian. And the idea here is going to be to lower the price of space travel down dramatically. And that actually is what is likely to happen here. Wow. According to Reason.com, there's every reason to believe the democratization of space travel is upon us. Bezos, Branson, Elon Musk have already delivered on that promise in other sectors, unless the government manages to screw things up. Following the pattern of commercial air travel in the 20th century, a novelty for billionaires today may well be accessible to the ordinary rich and then to the middle class soon enough. Also, the billionaires say they are taking a long-term view. One day, the capacity to get off the planet cheaply and at scale could be humanity's salvation. But it's not just what they want or what they envision that matters. We'll figure out as the market evolves exactly what is important about all of this.
The price would go down eventually, no matter what, right? Because that's how privatization works. It starts expensive, then it goes down, and then it'll settle, and it'll fluctuate wherever it settles. That makes sense. It would just get cheaper. But yeah, that doesn't mean it's. I don't know. It's just so stupid.
I know that people from SpaceX are openly talking about the idea of building a moon base to mine the moon for resources by the end of the decade.
That's not a good thing. This is not a good thing. You're taking mass out of the moon. The moon does tides. Do not mine the moon. The moon requires its mass. The moon destroying the moon, it's fucking huge. I don't know if they're going to crack it in half or anything. Don't mine it. We don't need it. We don't need it. This is not the movie Moon. Oh, boy. I don't think I would even if I could. There's a thing called wandering black holes. I don't think we're having wandering black holes. We would be able to recognize. I mean, they do wander. I'm just saying, we don't have any near us. Space is humongous.
Which is really super cool stuff. By the way, they've already driven down the cost of getting a kilogram into low Earth orbit by 44-fold because they're building a competitive industry where companies are actually competing to lower the cost.
Why are you excited about this? Listen, he's too messant with excitement.
Getting things into space. And that does matter for even things as convenient as your cell phone coverage, satellite coverage. If you can get satellites into space more cheaply, this is going to bring down prices for a lot of technologies here on Earth. One thing that Bezos was suggesting was the ability to essentially fire pollution off Earth, right? If there's heavy industries that produce, for example, nuclear waste, and you have no place to put that, could you actually just throw that off into space? It doesn't really matter, in other words, who gets to space first. What does matter is that we are creating a very cool competitive industry here, and we are doing it with private dollars, which really does matter. Now, this doesn't mean that the left isn't mad about all this. The left is
mad. That doesn't mean the left is mad about it. So I have an issue with polluting space if you do it incorrectly. Like, for instance, Elon Musk's satellites are a big fucking problem right now. And just private satellites, and like the fact that you can put a satellite in space today. This is a thing you get to do. I don't think that's okay. I think we need to fucking regulate that shit. We're gonna have space junk just fucking everywhere. I'm at work, so I can't be here live, but we watch all right. Hey, thanks, Quinn. Appreciate it. Your pal Austin, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that's right. That's the guy from TikTok.
Is super mad about all of this because, according to the left, all wealth is collectively owned. So you have Bernie Sanders, for example.
I don't like framing it as all wealth is collectively owned. Because I don't think that's the way that any of us want this to work tomorrow, right? Like, if we could make a bunch of changes tomorrow, wealth being collectively owned, wouldn't be it. I almost caught the what's the one? He was a mosquito. I almost caught a mosquito. Anyway, he's been attacking me this whole fucking stream, dude. Whatever. He'll have his day, his last day. Gonna get him, but yeah, throwing our nuclear waste into space is horrible because of rocket taking blows up. We just irradiated the whole planet. Yeah. There's so many things wrong with this. Corn satellite would be based. I don't want to do a corn satellite. You know what I do want to do? Corn holes everywhere. Just corn holes everywhere. I should make stickers. that are hollow in the center for if you find a glory hole, you can take that sticker out and put it on the glory hole, so it's technically a cornhole. Not that we hang out in lots of places with glory holes, of course.
Tweeting out about this. He tweeted, quote, "Here on Earth, in the richest country on the planet, half our people live paycheck to paycheck. People are struggling to feed themselves."
Oh, he's doing it. I was like, what? Is Ben okay? I forgot he's doing a Bernie Sanders, but it's really bad. And so I thought I did smoke a little bit of that weed to calm down from my rant earlier, but it confused me. It confused me, and I genuinely thought he was having like a medical issue. Okay. So this is the take. This is the correct take. Here on Earth, in the richest country on the planet, half our people live paycheck to paycheck. People are struggling to feed themselves, struggling to see a doctor. But hey, richest guy in the world's off in outer space. Time to tax billionaires. Not a bad take at all. That's pretty based. Are glory holes uniform in size? Oh yeah. The glory hole union is really cracks down on that.
Struggling to see a doctor, but hey,
you don't want it too small to hurt, but you don't want it too big so you feel bad. You know what I'm saying?
the richest guys in the world are off in outer space. Yes, it's time to tax the billionaires. Okay, so first of all, all net taxes in the United States, all net taxes in the United States after transfer of government benefits come from people who are very wealthy. All of them.
What?
Not some of them, all of them. The notion that people at the top end of the income bracket are not paying their quote-unquote fair share is just a lie. It is an overt and silly lie. And the reality is that if Bernie Sanders really...
No, it's not. It's not. We just disagree what the word fair share means. Right? Because he thinks that the tax rate as it is for incredibly, ridiculously wealthy people is a fair amount. But no. We want it in the 90s for incredibly rich people. You don't need billions and billions. Jeff Bezos' wealth should be minuscule compared to what it is today. He'd still be a billionaire most likely, even under a very high taxation. But it needs to be taxed. And companies like this don't pay any tax, often, a lot of the times. This is not good. This is not good for anybody. It's 0.98% or something. 0.98%? Jeff Bezos paid 0.98%. That's fucking insane. Less than 1%? You lying to me right now? I knew Amazon paid very little. But did he personally pay that little? Sometimes personal taxes are a little bit easier than company taxes to get the money, rather.
Really wanted to pay for his vast blowout
Jesus fucking Christ.
social programs, he would have to tax people at the same rates that he tax people in the Scandinavian countries he so loves, which means radically increasing taxes on the middle class, which, by the way, Bernie Sanders is not averse to doing. Okay, but Jeff Bezos pays a lot of taxes. He spent a lot of money paying a lot of taxes, and him using his wealth in order to foster a brand new industry is actually really cool, because here is the alternative. We could, as a country, spend vastly more money than Jeff Bezos just spent in order to do the exact same kind of stuff by siphoning away your taxpayer dollars. How much money did it cost you to send Jeff Bezos to space? The answer is it cost you no money.
Why? Wait. Why should I be happy that his trip to space cost me zero money? Let's say that's true. It's probably not true, but let's say it is. We paid for it? Wait. Was it subsidized? Did he get like grants and shit? Because I heard he fired the rocket from his private estate, right? Well, not his estate, but his land. He owned it, right? These companies get government grants for research. That's true. Fuck. Yeah, we did pay for it. Anyway, so let's just say we didn't pay for it. You're 100% right. Yeah. Even if we didn't pay a cent for it, why is that a good thing? That's not a point in your favor. That's just not a negative. You don't get credit for not being shitty.
You bought products from Amazon. You subscribed to Amazon Prime. In return, you got value. Then he used the profit that he derived from that to do something cool. That's number one, none of your business. But number two, something that actually does benefit humanity. I've said this over and over and over. Now, Bill Gates has the Bill Gates Foundation. He gives away hundreds of millions of dollars. Jeff Bezos, yesterday, gave away like $200 million. He has done more good for the world in building Amazon than in any of the charity that he just gave.
Jesus fucking. This is such a bleak worldview. Ben Shapiro thinks that, like, being able to order a mortar and pestle and getting it delivered to my door, like the convenience of that, which I did do, the convenience of that is somehow more beneficial to me than healthcare or housing or education. What? How about both? We can do both. Amazon can exist paying its workers ethically, and we can and giving them benefits, and we could also have healthcare, education, and housing. We could have all of this. Why not more? ¿Por qué no los dos? Well, and why not more? ¿Por qué no los más? But no las más probably. But still, why? Why can't we? What's the point?
The reality is that in a free functioning marketplace, the stuff that we do together, namely the transactions,
why not all? ¿Por qué no los todos?
We engage in consensually. Those are much more beneficial to us and to the world at large than people simply signing checks.
Probably just no
which is something the left simply
not the none, not the all.
You can't fathom.
Not los.
There was Jeff Bezos yesterday saying this in maybe the most awkward possible way. He sort of suggested that everybody else was paying for his flight to space. In one sense, this is right. In one sense, this is just a complete misspeak.
I want to thank every Amazon employee and every...
Fuck you! Nah! This motherfucker thanking Amazon employees, you motherfucker. How about you fucking thank them with $15 an hour minimum and not having the fucking cry closet? How about reasonable work hours and shit? This is, that made me mad. Oh, that makes me so fucking mad.
Amazon customer, because you guys paid for all this. So, seriously, for every Amazon customer out there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart very much.
Why don't you thank them with your fucking wallet? DJ Malcontent, thanks for following. Dina, thanks for following as well.
It's very appreciated.
Okay, in reality, did they actually pay for him to go to space? Only in the sense that when you buy something at the grocery store, you paid for the grocery store owner's car. Right? They didn't pay for him to go to space. It wasn't like he just seized their cash and then used it to go to space. Right? He actually paid them a salary, the money from the Amazon employees.
What's it called? Blue Horizon? Is that what it's called?
Haramble was just a gorilla.
Is that what it's called? Blue Origin. Blue Origin. It says it's privately funded. Let's see, though. Rocket engines facility funding. Jeff Bezos invested $500 million. The vast majority of funding to support technology development. Bezos was selling approximately $1 billion Amazon stock each year to privately finance it. Blue Origin receives up to $500 million from the United States Air Force. It's received $181 million so far. NASA. Blue Origin has also completed work for NASA on several small development contracts, receiving a total funding of $25.7 million. Yeah, so never mind. It's privately funded, but, you know, publicly funded as well. He who waits with 500 biddies. Let me see you. My brother says that Australians have been forced to take vaccines against their will thanks to Biden.
Haramble
Never mind the
was
fact
just
that we
a
are
gorilla.
Australian. He who waits. Tell your brother he's a fucking dumbass. Forced to take vaccines. Walk into the fucking ocean. Walk directly into the ocean, he who waits his brother. You're pointless. Your brain mass is better served feeding kelp. Kyria Matter, thanks for the follow.
Only came from the extra productivity that they create because he is taking the risk of paying them, right? Okay, but because people don't understand economics, this means that for some odd reason, they have a tendency to trust the federal government when they should not. The reality is that we should be trusting private industry to do all the things that make life better because historically, it is private industry that has made life better, not really government. Governments have existed since time immemorial.
Governments have not existed since time immemorial. Milo Smile, thanks for following. That's not really what governments are. Sorry, my history major is kicking in. Jesus fucking Christ. Anarchy is probably the original. Yeah. But anyway.
Governments all over planet Earth have existed forever.
Yeah, private industry is not the only thing that makes the world better, but also like there was a time when the greatest achievements in the whole world were done by people probably not wearing clothes, smacking rocks together. And therefore that means all problems need to start with the baseline of smacking rocks together. Because that's where the greatest discoveries of like harnessing and starting fires for our own good and being able to cook food, like really being able to cook food was what started our major evolutionary like hurdles forward, because there's more nutrition and that kind of stuff. Yeah, there was a point in time where capitalism was better than feudalism. Whoa. Capitalism was better than worse forms of government, sure. Worse forms of economic systems. That's fine. So that doesn't mean that like that's the tippy top of the iceberg there. We're still under the fucking water, bro. Capitalism can have been better than what happened prior to it. It can be. Representative democracy can be better. Capitalism is probably better than barter for the most part, just in that you can provide more objective values and you don't necessarily have to have a product to. That makes sense. You know what's better than that? Eliminating the need for capital to have these exchanges. Hey, is that you? Yeah. Okay, I didn't know Darren was getting into something. That would have been Bad News Bears. What are you doing? You rummaging around? Doing goblin behaviors? I think she's trying to steal my goodies. Did you just sigh? No. Oh. Are you okay? No. Why not? Why not? I'm in pain. Why? Can I help? No. Do you need me to give you a rub? No. Need me to get you some drugs? Maybe. Okay. Simply ask. I will do that. Is Jake moving or something? What do you mean? What? What do you mean I'm moving? Why do I have to be moving? What? I'm confused. Because there's a box right here? The box? There's like one box. There's a... Oh, these boxes? No. These were from unboxing stuff yesterday and some other stuff. That box was from D&D. And then this box, I got sent a big chair. I just got to clean it up. Which I'm slowly hitting the whole house. But it's just taking time. Like yesterday and the day before, like yesterday we did like the kitchen, the whole kitchen. Anyway,
good call, baby.
You and Mom are good moving. We're not moving now. Azzle Bedazzle, thanks for the 2 months, dude. Anyway, well, let's continue with Ben Shapiro.
Ever. The question is not whether government exists or whether government decides to throw bread at the people as they did in ancient Rome. The question is really whether there are industries that develop an economy strong enough to actually make products and services that are better.
I don't know what that means, Avery.
One of the great ironies of people like Bernie Sanders complaining about very rich people spending their money to go to space is that Bernie Sanders is very much in favor of the fact that the federal government has now seized and siphoned away $22 trillion in wealth over the course of the last 50 years in order to reduce the
50 years of siphoned wealth. Does he mean taxes?
Poverty rate in the United States by about 0. That doesn't bother him at all because, of course, it is the high-minded use of the money that Bernie...
Let's say hypothetically I fucked your dad. Let's say hypothetically you fucked an urn. Because that's what that would be like. Because he's dead. And in an urn.
Sanders cares about. More importantly, it's people like Bernie Sanders controlling the flow of the money that Bernie Sanders cares about. But the ancillary benefits of market transactions that make the world better, that's the stuff we should be focusing on. We should want more of this, not less of this.
I know Ben doesn't understand why this would be a problem, right? People would like to have better material conditions so that they and their families can be happier and safer. Not really a surprising development. It's something to be expected when you have a country or just fucking a planet, any society whatsoever. You would expect people to want a better thing. No, I got the meme. I just thought it was funny that you would fucking earn. Let's say, hypothetically, I fucked your dad. He that happened to Caitlyn Bennett as well. Lil Nas said, I'll fuck your dad, and she was very upset. Anyway. What the fuck was I saying, dude? You fucked me up. Banned? Wow. That was too quick. Too quick. Undo. My family, yes. What are you talking about? Hypothetically, doesn't mean. No, I think it's fine. My family believes that I am a bad P word. A bad P word? What's the P word? A bad pussy? Because I think children should be taught about consent. Oh. Their argument is, why would kids want or need to know what consent is? Just any consent at all? Consent doesn't mean just sexual consent. It applies as well. Why would a kid need to know consent so a kid doesn't get P-worded? What are you talking about? What do you think? What do you think P words fucking prey on? The ignorance of kids. What do you think? There's a bunch of kids being like, I don't know. This seems a little fishy. let me sieve through my vast life experiences to see the warning signs of a P word in my 5-year-old brain. No, just tell him bad stranger danger. Tell him consent is important. Because it doesn't. Not every adult doesn't have access to their body. Obviously, a parent or a doctor is going to have access to their child's body at times. Whether it's for health, it's usually for health reasons, right? But it could also be for, like, I don't know, bathing concerns. Like maybe it's a hygiene thing. Especially little kids with ding dongs. If they have a foreskin, which they likely do, hopefully. If they got a ding dong, they're not probably taking care of that correctly, and probably hoo-haws as well. I don't have one, but I'm sure that takes some know-how. There are reasons to at least see your child naked, and obviously when they're a baby, you don't have a choice. You can't just leave them all poopy and shit. But like they have to know the difference between like consent, which means that okay, mom, dad, you can help me with whatever it is. Maybe I got an itchy back or something. I don't know. You can here, please bathe me, whatever. Versus a person that wants to do that maybe they seem like mom or dad. They're an adult. They're a big person. Maybe they're a teacher. They're in charge, but that person doesn't get to. You know what I mean? So it's important to not just say no one gets to touch you. It's important to explain why consent is important. If you want to hug somebody, like a friend or something, it's also important for consent in general. And I know we're doing a consent thing right now, but this is just an important thing. This isn't Ben Shapiro at all. This is probably going to have to get cut, or you can leave it. I'm sorry, but this is important. Consent goes both ways as well, because you're not just teaching kids how not to have their consent violated. You're teaching kids to take other people's consent into consideration, which is the point of consent. So if they want to hug their friend, they don't just hug their friend. They go, "Can I give you a hug?" And then, if they say no, then that's okay. You don't have to be upset about it. That's okay. Just know that I want to, and it's always on the table if you want to hug. Like, that's cute. And if you do want to hug, you guys consent to hugs, you get to hug your friend. That's dope. Everyone loves a hug, hopefully. So, like the reason consent is important, he who hates his family, and you can clip this and share it with your family, is because you want to teach kids not only how to be safe themselves, but how not to learn to be a person that doesn't consider somebody else's consent, which is, frankly, how you got to this point in the beginning. The fact that you're even asking about this question. So yeah, I think it's worth considering. Consent is not necessarily a sexual thing, and frankly, I don't think toddlers even give a shit about sex to talk about it, right? But if you've ever seen a toddler, you know that they're touching their ding-dongs and their hoo-haws all the time because they're interested in this thing that has a lot of nerve endings in it. Why it's so sensitive to touch. Doesn't necessarily feel good, but, I mean, they're not touching it. Like, I remember being a kid and touching my pee-pee, and it just was like, meh, 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 doing this shit the whole time. And why? And it was this big. It's shrunk since then, but it's important. It's just important. And if you're scared of it, it's because you probably didn't get the talk that you needed. And then they'll take the knowledge of consent and move forward in their adult life, and you won't have as many P words. So if you don't like P words, why don't you actually do something to fight them? Instead of waiting until there's a victim so you can get mad. How about never having a victim? That's probably more ideal, specifically for the victims. And that's how you prevent it. Losers. Anyway. Let's go back to Ben Shapiro. Why don't we do that? My last bit's, why don't conservatives believe in teaching kids about consent, believe in consent? Thanks for the biddies. Probably for what I was talking about. I just don't think they
Her ramble was just a gorilla.
Darts and Brim, thanks for following. I don't think they're comfortable with it because it sounds like sex talk. And they're very prudish, and they're usually, thanks for the bits, Mixterious. They don't think it's important for sure, but it's definitely a skeeve thing. Like, they think it's like weird and icky, because they were taught that like sex is like sinful and stuff. Like, a lot of these people are Christian or have a Christian background, and even if they no longer practice, a lot of that stuff sticks to people, especially if they don't fucking talk about it. If you talk to most conservatives, you're gonna find out, and Ben Shapiro is included. We're gonna segue back into Ben in a sec. You'll find that many conservatives are very, very uncomfortable talking about most deep topics that would address them specifically. Like, do you have a bad relationship with one of your parents? Have you ever been mistreated by somebody? Have you ever experienced a violation of your consent? Have you ever violated consent? Stuff like that. So, yeah. I'm going to smash this now, and then we're going to get back to Ben Shapiro. Smash bottle ASMR. Destroyed. I'm so strong. Wow.
If you ever want to be able to travel to space, it ain't going to be because the federal government makes that possible.
Why? What? I have no issues with pursuing commercial space travel in a vacuum. The problem people have is the vast wealth inequality. And then this guy went for what looked like a PR joyride. I mean, he was on there because he wanted to be in space, right? He's not doing it because he's like super excited to gift the world with space travel. Secular, thanks for giving one to Sage. Jeff Bezos isn't being selfless here. Like, he could give away $1 billion every day, and it would take him multiple years to no longer be a billionaire.
It is truly incredible that the same people who are complaining about Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos spending their own money to go to space, and Elon Musk.
But he says their own money, but like the way billionaires make money isn't non-exploitative. And so the problem with it, the rub with billionaires specifically, much more than millionaires, is that all of their money is generated through the vast exploitation of the working class. And if the working class is vastly exploited, guess who's going to be fucking mad about it? The working class. How are you fucking surprised, Ben? These aren't gifts you're giving people. You're taking day-to-day happiness away from them for the funds to be able to gift the world the wonderful machines like Jeff Bezos's dick rocket. Like, come on, dude.
Building a space industry. Those same people are like, you know what we should do technologically? If I had your money, you know what I'd do? I'd build a high-speed rail. Monorail. Okay, so who do I trust? The monorail gang over here? The people who love Amtrak and just want to spend more money?
Amtrak just want to spend more money? Oh, my fucking God. You just got excited for space travel, but you're not excited for the idea. Okay, so even just as a capitalist, just assume you're a capitalist now, okay, chat? You're no longer a leftist. You're a full-blown capitalist, maybe even a lib. Wow, probably a lib. The Ender, thanks for the biddies. Thanks for the sarcasm. So even just as a capitalist, you must understand the value in having cheap and efficient transportation for hundreds and thousands of people at a time, right? Like, you must understand the utility of having accessible and available and reliable mass transit. Do I have to go into the particulars of this? Just for capitalism. Just capitalism. We don't have to bring in any sort of public thing. You could charge people $1 for it, which I disagree with. It should be free. But even if you did charge people a fucking $1 for it, or passes or whatever, you must understand the utility, dude. What does he think? absolutely insane. You can do both. We can have housing and education. We can have food and shelter. We can have mass transit. We can have, Wi-Fi just available. We can have all of these things. But you're only doing the one that serves the billionaires. The other stuff doesn't serve billionaires at all because they don't have lack of access to these other things. And does the working class benefit from space travel anytime soon? All it is another avenue to exploit labor right now. And that doesn't seem very fucking appealing to go be a miner on the moon if your life is literally just work. He's so fucking stupid, dude. Great pause game, though. I'm the best. Look at this. Right here at that eyebrow. Right there at that one. Just do that. Bang a tweet out real quick. Pow. Easy. Easy.
On higher speed Amtrak, because we must have high-speed rail, a full-on 19th century technology.
Okay. So it's a 19th century technology, but like a 1400s, well, post Magna Carta, representative democracy with capitalism model is much older than that. So why is old technology that's still good and reliable, why is that bad, but capitalism is still good? Very strange. Jimothy Red Valley, thanks for the 8 months. He Who Waits, thanks for the 5, dude. First time gifting. Katrina, Sevevil, Basil, John Raccoon, and Evans Ghost. You've all been gifted subbies. Thanks. He Who Waits. Appreciate that, man. Have you heard about the trains in Japan? Like Osaka line. Like, how do you not understand the utility of moving people in a city and intercity? How? You lower traffic, which lowers road costs, which lowers fuel, which lowers your need to import it, which of course lowers the cost in general if you can keep domestic oil, right? It also lowers pollution, which is good for everybody, including crops and all that stuff. And just quality of life, property value, if you care about that. I mean, we're just going with purely capitalism right now, Ben. I'm not even going to try to appeal to any sort of like ethics based thing. Just money. Getting people from A to B for much cheaper means they have more money to spend in other industries instead of just at gas stations, right? It also means that they're probably going to be a little healthier which is good for labor in general under capitalism and just good for the overall bottom line for healthcare because people will have to walk a little bit more. But because it's going to be so much cheaper, they'll be incentivized to walk a little bit more. I mean, these are just things off the top of my fucking dome. And I don't need a fucking economics degree to know that that is actually really good for all economies in any structure whatsoever, capitalistic or otherwise. I mean, it's just brain dead stuff. You don't even have to really think about it. There's plenty of really great things. Not to mention, obviously, anywhere where there's an exit is going to be a business hub. Like if you go to New York and you look at where a lot of exits are, there's businesses all around these places where you can get on and off the subway. And they thrive because they have the most foot traffic. This is true of bus stops as well to a lesser degree, but because they can move fewer people because they're above ground. You can't run a train through the middle of a street. You can under a street. That's great. This would be incredibly good for pretty much any city. Any of them. As long as you had enough. So stupid, dude. So stupid.
You know, from 250 years ago?
Every time I see someone agree with Ben Shapiro, the more I realize I have entered the pain dimension. Thanks for the biddies, too, man.
Or
the sports night.
Should we,
Did you learn that at school? Did you learn what at school?
Maybe focus in on the new technologies and, more importantly, allow people to spend their own private wealth on that. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. It is excellent the private industry has decided to advance science and advance the possibilities of humankind this way, and that you don't have to pay for it. That's pretty damned awesome. So one of the great things about private industry
Synthesis. Thanks for the follow. Synthesis.
handling space travel is that you don't end up with the guns versus butter discussions that you have to have at the governmental level.
What?
After the United States sent a man to the moon in 1969, we basically started cutting the space program right after that because there are a bunch of people on the left who said, you know what? We don't need to go to the moon anymore. There's no purpose.
What?
What do we care about space? We have enough problems here at home. Well, when you have...
Wait, what? Wait, what? These motherfuckers want to defund NASA constantly. What are you talking about? It was people trying to reduce like fucking like government spending that gutted the space program. What are you talking about? Why does he just lie about stuff? They didn't advance anything. They literally 7 decades behind government achievements. Of course they are. What? Ray's been begging to defund NASA for this is what I'm talking about. Dark Beast, thanks for the prime, dude. Good call. Nixon was president when the cuts occurred. This is so ridiculous. He's just fucking lying. It's not even a spin. Usually he's just has the wrong sort of spin on it. Probably on purpose, right? This is just incorrect. Just flatly incorrect.
One taxpayer
He does
dollar...
this a lot now. He didn't used to do this as much. He did it always to some degree, but he just keeps getting worse over the years. He used to try to make an argument before. Remember that when he was doing like college tours? He'd be like, well, actually, here's the blah, 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 and he would just say something stupid because he doesn't know how to interpret things. Now he's just fucking lying.
...to spend, and you have to decide whether to buy off constituents or whether to advance science via NASA. Usually it's a pretty easy call for members of the political class. But the nice thing about private industry is you don't control it. So if they decide to go do something uber cool with regard to technology, whether it is developing cell phones...
He keeps using cool. It's cool. What do you mean it's cool? NASA's on fucking Mars. NASA is on Mars. They just mapped the core of NASA, by the way. NASA just finished mapping the core. I said map the core of NASA. Mapping the core of Mars, right? They mapped the core of it. We know what the inside of another planet is. That's fucking insane. They took pictures of fucking Pluto, bro. That's crazy. Absolutely dumb, dude. He's so dumb.
...forwarding the internet or going to space, that is a zero cost to you thing.
Wait, did you say forwarding the internet? What?
It is a value add.
The government created the internet.
And the fact that people fail
which is obviously the best thing that's ever existed, obviously.
to understand this is beyond me. Understand that taxes are a way of siphoning away from people who are not harming you and are in fact helping you with their developments of technology toward people who simply want to buy votes with your cash. This should be your first suspicion. When you hear people like Bernie Sanders shout about taxing the billionaires, who spends the money better, Jeff Bezos or Bernie Sanders who's never run a popsicle stand?
Bernie Sanders. Who spends the money better? What? He has billions of dollars. He's so stupid. How spends the money better? What do you mean who spends the money? We built a dick rocket with your money. $500 million of government funding.
Who do you think is going to be forwarding the interests of better products and better services? Jeff,
products and services. What about fucking people? Just people. What about human experience? What about the genuine good that we could live with? A better living condition day to day. How is that not more important than another product or another service? And by the way, the product or service here is space flight to your job on the moon where you mine it and you get gray lung.
Jeff Bezos, who literally has provided millions of jobs across the globe and provided a better life for
millions of jobs.
For hundreds of millions of people. I mean, I use Amazon every day. I'm sure so do you. Who do you think is going to better your life more? Jeff Bezos with money or Bernie Sanders with money?
I bet I could do it better. Who do you think's gonna like this more? Okay, on the one hand, You have, well, you have two choices, okay, chat? Two of them. Here it is. He uses Amazon every single day of his life. That's right. Every single day. On the one hand, you could get 1 day shipping. 12 hours from the moment you press buy, you get 1 day shipping. Amazing, right? That'd be amazing, okay? Wow. I get to spend money and get it immediately. It's almost like a grocery store. Or you could have universal health care. Anybody in the United States at any point can get medical care from any doctor in any hospital. No more networks at any time. Obviously, to varying degrees of severity. You can visit the ER whenever you want. No bills. You can schedule a doctor's appointment whenever you want. No problem. Which one's better? It's fucking healthcare. Everybody knows it's healthcare. How long does it take to ship myself to the hospital? Less than 12 hours. No. I know, no, universal healthcare and all the other stuff, transportation, internet. Yeah, all those are good. But that wasn't the choice. I wasn't going to stack the deck against single day Amazon Prime. Just one policy that we could take care of if we tax billionaires correctly. One of them. So I picked one. It's healthcare. Of course it's healthcare. Everyone's life is improved by healthcare. Not everyone's life is improved by single day Amazon Prime shipping. Whoa. Surprise. Fucking dumbass. Like, nobody would say not healthcare, right? Not one person should say that. I'm sure Ben Shapiro would unironically say single day shipping, please. But he has a fucking network of insurance.
Whose entire history of spending money comes down to buying lake houses with your taxpayer dollars. Like, who do you think? Honestly, I'm constantly shocked at the fact that all these people who yell at billionaires and millionaires, they think that...
Well, it's less millionaires, even though Ben is definitely of the opinion that he is a temporarily embarrassed billionaire. Like, he thinks he's on the way. He's going to be a billionaire someday, he thinks. Ben is a millionaire, which is, you're not on the chopping block right now. I don't think you're a good person. You should pay higher taxes than a poorer person. But billionaires should take the brunt of that, for sure. Maybe you wouldn't even pay as many taxes. I don't fucking know. Probably you will. Depends on your wealth. But, like, you're not the fucking victim here, Ben. You're fine. Your family's fine. You have generational wealth. Every Shapiro born henceforth from betwixt your loins is going to have money. It's just never going to run out, ever.
that the people who are best positioned to control the money are a bunch of morons who have never run a business. It's beyond me.
I mean, I've run businesses. I've run many businesses. I used to run restaurants. Still want the fucking healthcare, Ben.
Why would you I wouldn't even trust a businessman to run a business where he has no level of expertise. So you're trusting people who have never run a business.
Jeff Bezos isn't a fucking astronaut, Ben. What do you mean? He's just a guy with money. What are you fucking talking about?
At all. To handle your money and determine where that money is going to go. When you siphon money away from the private sector and into the public sector, it becomes less efficient. When you take money away from people who are entrepreneurial and you put it in the hands of people whose sole job it is.
Okay, but the idea of efficiency is maximizing capital here. That is the difference. We are not trying to maximize capital. We are trying to maximize the impact of that capital on people's lives in a positive way, which doesn't necessarily mean that our Bezos bucks are going to be spent just perfectly. It means that you have to do case-by-case basis sometimes, especially the way this is done. You know what would be better? You know what would save money in general is instead of having to have caseworkers for benefits, everybody just gets the benefits. Just everybody. You have them. There they are. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to have all this bureaucracy in the way. Just get fucking rid of it. I can fix this shit pretty quickly, to be totally honest. Okay. Here's how you do it, right? You go, okay, so what do people need right now? And someone goes, President Corn. That's me. President Corn. It seems today people are saying that they want housing. And I go, okay. So how does housing work now? And they go through all the bullshit where you got to apply for low-income housing. You have to wear a bunch of paperwork. They got to make sure that you're not exploiting the system after all. Okay, get rid of all the qualifications for any sort of free housing. We're going to start government housing in any area that we see that has a problem with homelessness. So if there's homelessness. And then after that point, and we're going to overshoot the homelessness by 10%. Okay? 10% of the expected homelessness population. Overshoot that, build enough houses for 10% more. Right? And they could be tiny houses on a lot. Like in like a sort of a community setting. It could be a more efficient sort of apartment thing. It could be a dead mall conversion. Whatever you got going on. It could be a public work program for probably the next 20 years combating homelessness. Anybody can go there at any point for any income level. Prioritize the homelessness, obviously, at the beginning. So basically just be like, hey, come on down, and we have basically the people in charge of this. So you have to have people that work the grounds and operate the interiors and take care of and make sure they know who everyone is and where everyone's at. Obviously, it doesn't make any pragmatic sense to just be like, here, they're open, do whatever you want. It definitely makes sense to have some, I guess you'd call that bureaucracy in the way, really just management. And then I don't care if you make $50,000 a year. If you want government housing, and you don't want to have like a house, you just want to live in a pretty small but safe place, I don't care. Live there. Once we start building all these up, I don't care. Housing should, if you want to buy commodified housing, you get to. Go ahead. But you shouldn't be forced to. You should not be forced to work any amount of time for housing. It's just not a thing we need to do anymore. You shouldn't be forced to work for UBI. UBI should just be given to everybody. We can start at $1,000 a month. We can work it out after that. This is only going to help capitalism, by the way, because, of course, if you have a bunch of people that have $1,000 every month, they're spending it on stuff, and the circulation of money makes it great. Right? All that, and that's all working with capitalism still. Housing is right as communism. Yeah, but even under that, even with all those social things, we could still do the capitalism the way Ben wants. And frankly, we can't break away from capitalism as quickly as most of us would like anyway. So we have to acquiesce to some form of capital exchange. And this is true, for sure. We just can't get away from that for a long, long time. It's going to take a long time. So we need to take steps to ensure everybody's safety and well-being before that. But instead, dum-dums. Dummies.
To buy off constituents and to create particular dependent classes, the money is just gone. This is why we have seen slow growth in the United States, historically speaking. When you regulate business, when you take money away from business, this is why we are going to see, after all of this inflationary growth, after we see Joe Biden blow out trillions of dollars, after we see the regulatory schemes he wants to put in place, this is why even Joe Biden is predicting the United States for the next decade is going to grow at below a 2% GDP rate.
Oh, no. We're not going to infinitely grow under capitalism during a climate crisis and a global pandemic? Fuck. Man, that's pretty rough. Maybe we should... So, this is like driving a car, okay? This is like driving a car. And I used this analogy a little bit yesterday, too, but this is a different one. You're driving a car, and again, you hear like a ting, 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 like a little noise, you know? You hear a little noise, right? Now, the car in this metaphor is American GDP, right? It's our productivity and how we make money, okay? So you hear like a ting, 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 and then you hear a brrr on the left side. I don't know what these noises mean. Could be anything. Okay? Economists know. But instead of saying like, well, if I don't just keep driving, I'm not going to get to my goal, wherever that is. I'm not going to get to town on time. I'm not going to get to town. Right? I need to get there. If we're not driving 2% faster every hour, well, then I'm not going to get there as fast as I thought I was going to get. Okay, but you see, if you don't stop and get these repaired, you're not just going to not get there at 2% faster every hour. You're not going to get there at all. You're going to be stuck on the side of the road. And being stuck on the side of the road when you're a country is a metaphor for just fucking dying. Everyone's dying. Maybe they're dying. I don't know. We don't want that. This isn't good. You wouldn't ignore this shit in a car unless you were poor because you had to. But Ben Shapiro certainly isn't poor. If his car is making a ding ding ding, he's not going to just stop and not use it. He's going to get it fixed. Right? He's not going to ignore the problem. He's going to approach the problem and get it fixed because there's a problem. The country gets to have problems too. Countries have problems. Not a big deal. It's okay to address problems in countries. Stop being a pussy about it. America isn't perfect. That's okay. America's imperfections is what kind of makes it neat. Because we get to look at the imperfections and go, we could fix that. And then fucking doing that. How about having the courage to actually address problems in America? Conservatives? Every conservative is a pussy. Every single one of them. They're just losers, dude. They're just afraid to self-actualize and like they're afraid to self-analyze America's problems and they're afraid to make changes. To make it better, make it a better place. You're just afraid. Stop being afraid. What's to be afraid of? People being happy? Having health? Your life might be a little different, but everything will be better? What are you fucking afraid of, dude? You know what I think you're number one afraid of? Learning. That's what I fucking think. I think you're scared to learn that your preconceptions about something like socialism were wrong. I think you're scared to find out that I like freedom more than you fucking like freedom. I think you're scared to learn that. I think you're scared to learn that what you've been told by people like Ben Shapiro and by Fox News and all of them. I think you're scared to learn that you've been lied to and that you believed it and then you regurgitated that lie to other people. Because if you're not all in on this and you don't believe it with your whole self, it means that you did some fucked up shit. And that can be uncomfortable. Sometimes you gotta fucking turn in a little bit and figure out where you were wrong about shit. Listen to other people's opinions about this stuff. And the opinion is, hey, I don't mind if we do space travel. Ben, I don't mind if Jeff Bezos goes to space. What I do mind is that the material conditions of the people that are saying hey, we should tax billionaires are not being considered and he still goes to space. How about we serve everybody instead of just those that have wealth? How about we try it? It's the end of that one.